Hello everybody, welcome to Storytime with D-Lo. It's Monday, March the 31st. I just can't even wrap my head around that it's the end of the month. Literally. I tried to do a video last night and I uploaded it. It only took like 5 hours to upload. Only to think, oh, I should probably edit. There was a couple of things in there and it bugged me, like in the middle of the night. We're talking in the middle of the night. I wake up and I'm like, I hate to do this, but let me delete it. So I deleted it because I don't know how to edit. I gotta practice that. But anyways, I figured I'd try to hop on right now. I'm sitting outside just because it seems like it's cooler out here than it is inside. So I figured I'd hang out here for a little bit. What I was talking about last night was a recap. Oop! Technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Hopefully that'll stay. I was talking about last week how I was arguing, that doesn't sound right. I was, but yeah, a dilemma with MRIs. I was trying to get scheduled, going back and forth with the insurance company, and my primary, and the neurologist office, blah blah blah. Anyways, long short of it, finally got that resolved this past week. My primary stepped up and got the orders over to the insurance, and ultimately at the end of the day, the insurance tells me, oh, we don't need an order after all. So after all those hoops I was jumping through, but anyways, so I had the MRIs done this week on Thursday. What's funny is generally, like in the past, because I've had like billions of MRIs ever since I had my brain tumor, so I've always had MRI of my brain and this and that. So anyways, this one was different because it was of my neck and my spine. So when I've had MRIs in the past, I've had to have some little happy pills because I'm claustrophobic. But it was funny because last month when I was in the hospital, they had done an MRI of my brain. And at the time, I think they had given me pain medication or something because I was chill. And they just kind of sprung it on me. Hey, we're going to take you to go get the MRI. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I didn't even think twice. Like, oh my God, I'm claustrophobic. I was so out of it. But this time, for my spine, I was like, oh my God, I'd better call my doctor. So I called the neurologist. She called in some happy pills. So when I get to the place, now I don't drive, okay? So I had my insurance pays for transportation to medical appointments, to doctor's appointments. So I had transport take me. So when I got there early. So you try to take those pills, 30 minutes before your procedure or whatever. But I got there early, so I didn't know, like, are they going to take me now? Am I going to have to wait? So I waited till the guy called me back because I knew it was, we were going to blah, blah, blah. He was going to ask me questions and then you got to change, whatever. So I told him, I'm going to take this half a pill because I only wanted to take half. I mean, it doesn't take much for me, but I only wanted to take half because I wanted to have my wits about me leaving. Because again, the medical transportation, it's kind of like an Uber Lyft. Anyways, they were going to pick me up. So I take the half pill. I mean, mind you, it was very teeny tiny dosage. So anyways, I take the pill, I get in there, and I get all comfy to get in the little tunnel. They put a pillow underneath your knees, and he let me keep my little sweater on because it was cold in there. So I'm all comfy, I'm like, cool. So wheels me in. Of course, those things are loud. Even though you have earplugs and headphones, you can still hear all that like you're in a construction zone. So anyways, not even a couple of minutes, I'm already feeling my body relaxing, okay? And then I feel him wheeling me out. I'm like, seriously, dude? And I was like, excuse me? He kind of woke me up. I was starting to go to nappy times. Anyway, so he goes, are you sure you don't have any metal on you or in you? I'm like, no, I took off my bra. I mean, what more do you want? I don't have anything else. Well, on my tank top, the straps on the back, I guess, had metal, whatever. So I had to get up, take off the tank top, put on the gown, and do. So go through that whole thing again. I'm like, oh, Lord, this pill better, stay with me. So but I think what helped is that I wasn't feeling good to begin with. So I was already ready to lay down anyway. So I guess that kind of helped. So by the time we went back in the second time, I was out. See you, bye. I think it took maybe about 30 to 40 minutes, give or take. So anyways, knocked that out. Happy. So yeah, I'm happy I got that done. Now I'm just waiting. The waiting game. You're just waiting for them to call you. And my biggest fear, and I shouldn't say that, but I'm being honest. My biggest fear is they're going to say, oh, everything looks good. Everything looks normal. Which, in a normal circumstance, I'd be, oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. But because I've been dealing with whatever this is for 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks, of these symptoms, and they're like, we don't know, maybe you caught a virus, maybe you did this, maybe you did that, I hate these maybes. So I want answers. I need answers because my life is on pause right now. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the MRIs. In the middle of that, I even wrote down notes so I would stay on focus. So got the MRIs. I went back to work Thursday and Friday. I work in the office 2 days a week. Primarily I work from home if needed, but in the office 2 days a week. So I hadn't been in the office for like a month, since I was in the hospital and all that fun stuff. So that was good. It was good I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, even though I don't know where I'm at. Does that make sense? I'm just, in my head, I'm just like business as usual. In my brain, I'm thinking, okay, business as usual. Let's just keep everything the same. But in reality, my body's like, oh, no, can't do that. But I'm working through it. At this point, it's about keeping my mind occupied because I don't understand what's going on right now, So for me, doing this right here, doing these videos, that's a creative outlet for me. Being able to talk on video and just be me. I'm used to writing. Okay, shameful plug. www.ceciliaofthesaints.com. It's my blog site. So I'm used to being not seen. I would prefer to be not seen if you really want to know. But yeah, I usually write. So I can and I'll probably write something about all this as well on my blog. But something told me, hey, let's explore doing videos. So here I am. So yeah, I say all that because it's another creative outlet for me. To keep myself busy in addition to work. I have the 2 part-time jobs, but again, I'm blessed and I'm thankful that I can do them primarily from home. So that's not an issue. So yeah, on top of that, as I was saying, doing the creative outlet, doing the writing, doing the video, the videos. I also have picked up drawing again. I've never knew how to draw, stick people. Last year around this time, I had hernia repair surgery. I had to explain that in a previous video. But the funny thing is, during my 18 days, not that I was counting the days that I was in the rehab facility, recuperating or trying to do physical therapy after surgery, I found myself, on the days when in the beginning, I want to say maybe after the first week, I had a big window in my room, so I can't complain. I had a nice scenery, It was in a neighborhood, so that was nice. So I literally just found myself like doodling, and then I would be like sketching the scenery outside. And I was like, what am I doing? This is weird. But I just kind of went with it. And then, because I would need to get out of that out of that building. You know, I needed to get fresh air, and there was a dollar. The funny thing is, there was a dollar store right literally up the sidewalk. Trust me, I was like, I'm gonna get this rollator walker, because I had to use a walker. Like, I'm gonna get this rollator walker, and I'm gonna haul my butt up to that Dollar General. I mean, I almost did, but I probably would have gotten in trouble. They probably would have thought I was trying to escape or something. Which in reality, yeah, I was. But yeah, I would go sit outside and I would be sketching. One of these days I'll show them, you know. But yeah, so I started doing that again now. So fast forward to now. On Sunday, it was a bad day. It was a bad morning. I was feeling really bad. But I had done the Sunday school lesson. We usually do it on Sunday mornings on Zoom. But anyways, and it just so happened, the lesson for this week, and forgive me because I'm going to be reading this, it was out of John 6, verses 16 through 21. So if you don't mind, it's really short, I'll be quick. When evening came, his disciples went down to the sea, got into a boat, and started across the Sea of Capernaum. Darkness had already set in, but Jesus had not yet come to them. A high wind arose, and the sea began to churn. After they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea. He was coming near the boat, and they were afraid. But he said to them, "It is I, don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him on board, and at once the boat was at shore where they were heading. So, I've always heard the story of, the disciples are out on the boat, they're like, the waves are going all over the place, and they're all scared, and the boat's tipping, sideways. I mean, you can kind of picture it, and that's, when they see Jesus walking on the water. What was so funny, I was reading that, and then something within me was like, you know what? I want to draw a boat, but I don't know how. So I did Google. What do? You go on Google. So I went on Google, how to draw a boat. So I found a boat template, I printed it, and I have tracing paper. So I was tracing it a couple of times just to try to get the hang of it. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try to draw it freehand. So I, of course, I'm still practicing, but it was funny because I could see myself. The reason why I'm bringing up the boat is because I can see myself in a boat, and I'm out at sea, and I can't swim, for one thing. That's honest to God truth. I can't swim. But it's funny, the analogy that I have of what I'm seeing right now that's going on around me. I'm in a boat, but I'm going in circles. I'm just going in circles. There's waves all around me. I'm just going in circles. Like no direction. I'm just like, and it seems like I'm not even. Sometimes I guess I can see myself paddling to fight it, and then some moments I'm like, whatever, I give up. But I'm kind of like on the fence on that. You know what I mean? But it was funny because the point for this particular Sunday school lesson, it's called the sign of his presence. And the point is, in Jesus's presence, we have no need to fear. And I know this. You know how you can read something and you can be like, oh, I know that. And I know it mentally and spiritually. And I've seen it, I've seen it throughout my life, in different, throughout my life. I can't, in every aspect of my life, I've seen it. So it's like, okay, if I've seen it and I believe it, then why am I doubting all of a sudden? Why am I doubting now? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But it's so funny because I'm like, I started drawing the boat. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going in circles. And I'm sure this boat has like a bunch of plugs in it. Because it's not like a high-tech, perfect turbo boat, well-equipped. No, that thing is all sorts beat up. So I can see my boat. It has all kinds of plugs in it. Maybe it has duct tape. I don't know. But it's all sorts of beat up. But it's still It's still working. It's still doing its job. But right now, I'm just, like I said, and just going in circles. So at some point, I know it's going to stop. I needed to stop fighting it. You know what I mean? I think I'm at this, I'm going through this where I'm trying to fight it, which is okay to because I have that fighting spirit. I'm a fighter. I won't give up. So that's a good thing. But in this sense, because I don't know what's going on, I have to just surrender. You know what I mean? I have to stop trying to row against the flow of the water, and just drop the, whatever you call those, drop the paddles or whatever, and just be like, all right, whatever. God, you just do it. Do whatever. Do what you're going to do because he's in control. Thank God I'm not in control because Lord knows where I would end up. But anyways, I just wanted to share that little bit of what's been going on. And in the middle of all this, it's not like, there's still blessings. There's still, beautiful things happening in the midst of this. And I think that's important for me to always look at the positive, or always look like what's right in front of me. I mean, just this week, it was so funny. It was last week, we had bulk, the city was picking up bulk items, and I didn't have very much stuff, old stuff, tools, rusted out tools of my dad, and like gardening tools and stuff. So last week on Wednesday was the pickup day. So I had gone out to the sidewalk, and I was feeling bad, but I was like, I got to get rid of these. So I go out there. I'm putting out window screens that we had just kind of laying around. So I put out the window screens, rusted out tools and, all kinds of knickknacks and stuff. As I'm setting them out on the sidewalk, there's a man at the house a couple of houses down, and he sees me. He's in a flatbed trailer, so he's going around picking up stuff. I'm like, I don't care who takes it. Anybody, city, anybody. So as I'm putting them out there, he's coming up with a wheelbarrow and he's taking them. I'm like, oh yeah, woo. Okay, so the most important thing out of the story, my mom, when she was here, she always ironed. I mean, she had her ironing board. She always used starch. Lord help us if we ran out of starch. So I always had to stock up on starch. Anyways, and I kept seeing that ironing board. I'm like, that thing's going. It's out of here, dude. Sorry, Mom. So I put the ironing board out there. He didn't take it. And I'm like, seriously, dude, you're not going to take the ironing board? So I'm like, fine. The city will take it. Somebody will take it. So, okay. So I go about my business. My cousin had to run me to the pharmacy. So I leave, and as I'm walking out the front door, I'm getting in my cousin's car. She's like, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what? She goes, I saw your mom. I saw your mom walking out behind you. And I believe in that stuff. So anyways, so she goes, I saw your mom walking behind you. And I said, without hesitation, I said, yeah, she's pissed off. She's pissed off because I have the ironing board out there. Out on the sidewalk. She's pissed off because that's her ironing board. She had it for buckles of years, and here I'm just chucking it, So that made me laugh. I was like, yep, she's pissed off because I'm getting rid of the ironing board, and she's gonna go out there and bring it back in. I wouldn't doubt it. And it's so funny because when I came back from going to the pharmacy, it was gone. So somebody ended up taking it. So I'm like, thank you. But I kept the iron. Because who knows what she would have done. But anyways, funny things happen. You gotta look. Sometimes they're right in front of you. You gotta take the focus. Sometimes it requires you taking the focus off of yourself. Taking the focus off of yourself and stop going into a pity party and be like, okay, there's always somebody else. You never know what somebody else is going through. Somebody else may be going through something that's, a lot worse or what have you. And yeah, so a lot of times it's about being selfless, less about me, more of what God is trying to tell me. The saying, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Okay, me, it's hard to not speak. Okay, Um, yeah, I can talk, as you can tell, and I can talk back, and I can get attitude, but it's like God is trying to tell me, okay, keep your mouth shut and your ears open. So I'm trying to keep my ears open to Him right now to figure out, okay, what do you want me to do? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? Okay, so that's where I'm at, and that's what I wanted to share. So yeah, I think I'll be doing some more videos. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to share, but yeah, I'm just winging it. Okay, so this is just me winging it, being honest, being me. So I hope you continue to join me in this journey, and just to see what unfolds in this world of mine, in the world of D'Lo. So thank you for joining me with Storytime with D'Lo. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, and God bless. Bye-bye.